Previously on the Pink Goblin.
We barely finished anything, and some stuff we didn't even start at all.
Bonsoir, fellow mini enthusiasts. If you're here, you should have watched part 1, otherwise you might not understand anything. As a small reminder, we had only 5 days to paint 1,000 points of Space Wolves before the Paris Wargame Expo. By day 3, we were, to say it politely, deep in Nurgle goo that was also on fire. Yet we weren't giving up in this last stretch. Technically, it was the last day. Panic reached its final form. Ragnar Blackmane, the battle leader, and the Iron Priest were advancing slowly but steadily. What about the head takers? They should be done too, right? Wrong, this guy somehow lost his head, and some of them have no shield. Where are they? Oh, ik rotte. Alright, let's not panic and just fix that. Here we go, good enough, right? But by then we barely started painting the Wolfen, and the scouts still looked like ghosts. That's where our new shading technique comes in. Oil paints are a fantastic way to shade minis with zero stress. Even the cheap ones do a lot of heavy lifting once you dilute them with a bit of white spirit. Just slap this mix everywhere you need it. Don't be afraid to put too much on. Just relax and feel those recesses. Then wait until it's dry enough so you can touch it without removing it. Don't be hasty. That can take a good 30 minutes to an hour. Now's the fun part. Grab your sponge and dab it like a goblin on all of your model. It will remove the oil paint from all the raised surfaces you don't want it on. You can also use a cotton swab for more precision, but it's a rougher material, so be careful not to leave the paint underneath. It needs a gentler hand. That's why I prefer the makeup sponge. It won't leave the paint and relieve your stress. Rage! It's also a good idea to seal it with a matte varnish if you don't want to accidentally lift your paint later on. And voila, you're done! I love how easy you get that ambient occlusion with zero fear of mistake, since you can rub it right off. How cool is that, Gobelin Gang? Despite the efficiency of this technique, at this point we were ready for an all-nighter, and even then, we weren't sure we'd make it. That's when it happened. The flight got cancelled. Praise be the Emperor. It was rescheduled for the next day. Just one more, but very welcome day to paint. Motivation restored. The real final day, courtesy of the Emperor. Time for redemption arc. I decided to cheat just a little for the Wolfen OSL. Since their weapons were supposed to glow, I quickly faked a cyan light with a reddish-brown shade. For a desperate hack with complementary colors, it worked beautifully though. And because we clearly hadn't learned our lesson, we even touched up Ragnar's weapon. Risky and unnecessary, yep, but worth it? Absolutely. If you also love fiery weapons but don't feel like using an airbrush, you just need stippling. Here's how I do it. 1. Start with a white base on your weapon. 2. Leave the hottest spot white, usually either the middle of the blade or the runes. Whatever you choose is fine. Then add tons of yellow dots around it. You can use regular paint or contrast, any kind really, since the base is white. Wow! Now let's do the same thing with orange. Make your dot as tiny as you can, but don't worry too much. The texture actually sells the effect even better. 4. Now add some red, very close to the edge and on every other detail of your weapon. The dots should create a gradient now. 5. Let's really sell the effect with pure black. With a detail brush, add black dots to all your weapon edges, including the inside edges of the blade. We're still using dot here because leaving gaps sell the heated steel effect even more. I also usually add some stray black dots a bit further from the edges. And no, you don't need to use Musso Black, but I'm addicted. 6. If you want, you can adjust the blend by going back and forth with your orange, yellow and white over the transition. But don't fall into an endless loop, okay? And voila! Doesn't it look fire? Don't forget to show me if you try yourself, Gobelin Gang. Since I was on a roll, while mon chéri was stop coating stuff, I decided on another completely superfluous upgrade. I couldn't be stopped. Look at that fake needlework. I really like it. Here's my quick and easy technique for some cool embroidery effect, with no freehand needed. 1. Get a responsible adult to place some decal on the cape that you intend to upgrade. Yeah, I'm still bad with those. 2. Grab paint and similar to the color of the cape and your details. 3. Go crisscross with the color of the cape towards the decal. 4. Reverse. Go crisscross with the color of the decal towards the cape. 5. You can dance the cha-cha with your mini now because look how good that looks. With this character done, the end was in sight. The Technopriest got his own fire glory, and we also gave some love to the scouts. I spiced up their leader with a bit of camo. Yeah, a first try again. I don't even remember why I did that. I wanted him to stand out, I guess. Or the lack of sleep was getting to me, I don't know. Oh, and we also finished all the missing bases. Every last one. And they all look pretty good and cohesive. A mini without a cool base is not really finished, right? Let's be clear, it's not Golden Demon level, but it's ours. And I really like how they look on the table. Yeah, the tank antenna did not survive the trip, but my beloved had emergency glue at the ready. Crisis averted. The army made it to Paris. I can safely say all the effort, the late nights and the chaos were worth it. So what did I learn? Don't wait until the last minute. Yeah, as if that won't happen again. Oil paint shading is my new best friend, and makeup sponge are so much fun. But more importantly, painting doesn't have to be immaculate to look great on a tabletop. So if you ever feel overwhelmed by a deadline or think you're not good enough, remember, you don't need to be perfect. Hobbies are meant to be fun. Also, my beloved actually won one game, so he lost his bet that it'd be dead last. And no, it wasn't on a forfeit, ya bad-mouthing gits. For a complete beginner, that's quite the achievement, right? And that is how we survived our first Warhammer painting marathon. If you enjoyed this chaotic journey, hit the like button for moral support. Thank you so much for staying with me during all the video. Put 3 clocks emojis in the comments so I know you're a VIP Gobelin Gang member. And tell me, what's the tightest painting deadline you ever faced? Don't forget to subscribe for more Miniature Mischief every day. And as always, bonne chance with your hobby les amis.